This conference will now be recorded.
As you got my 15 agendas, hopefully you have the most recent one. So first order of business is basically to accept the minutes from December 11th meeting.
Motion to accept.
Okay, all those in favor? Aye. Are you a voting member here? No? Okay.
I'm not even on the committee yet.
Yeah, I bet. Okay, so this is mostly why we're here anyways, one stop, the rural development grant. Lots been going on. The feasibility study proposal is ready to go out, and I got together some names in regards to the architects that will be approved. The only one I could not find anything on was Reinhardt Associates. And I think you said that.
They've gone under.
Yeah.
Yep, they're gone.
Okay. So the rest of them are ready to go. I'm gonna give Obadiah Dark from Newbanks a call and just talk to him. I haven't talked to him in a long time, but he's very good and very thorough. Rest I'm not exactly sure about. And a top one, it's a husband and wife team. Lydia is like a principal, but so is Michael. So I didn't know which one. I just picked Lydia and put her name in there. So, but these are these little letters that are going to be going out soon.
Are we waiting for anything else? You're like mailing them tomorrow or what?
I'll have them in the mail now.
Okay.
Yep.
So we're working on them today.
Yeah. So just out of sheer curiosity, is this posted someplace in the town website so that somebody can go in and see it?
Yeah, I can put it in there.
Okay, good.
We have a spot for doing business with the town.
Okay, so basically we got the proposal, which we're asking it to come back by February 28th and that the report be completed by April 1st. Or it's either 1st or 4th. 4th, yeah, thank you. I gotta get together with, you want me to change it?
That's a long word.
Well, not if the reports, the RFP, the responses to the RFP are February 28th.
Oh, okay.
That gives them 5 weeks.
Okay.
And we still have to award.
The only reason I went out that far is from my old banking experience for like appraisals and stuff like that. The average is 5 to 6 weeks for turnaround time. Sometimes you can get it in 4, but majority of appraisers always want it in 5 to 6 weeks. And I can cut it back to where we get it like in March.
Well, no, you're talking a feasibility study?
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna take a lot longer than 5 weeks.
Okay.
When is the grant deadline for work complete?
End of the fiscal year. So we got till June 30th.
Oh, wow.
I think we have longer. Are you sure it's only until this June 30th?
Really, we couldn't do anything until the first of the year?
It doesn't make any sense.
I
don't think that's right.
attended one seminar and one woman said that it's valid for the rest of the fiscal year. At the end of the fiscal year, it's done. I can't tell you who it was because I don't
I'm
remember.
pretty sure these grants go for longer.
I don't think that's enough time to have a
It isn't.
feasibility study.
That's not,
It does not
Structural,
seem right.
electrical,
Where's
mechanical.
the-
I know, I
where's
went
the
through the
award?
list and
Waste.
there's a lot of stuff there. It's not just look at the roof.
Is
Yeah.
it fiscal year 2026?
No.
Okay,
You know what?
Is it
Let
calendar
me
year
I'm gonna have to
25?
check.
let me
That's not enough time.
let me
But
contact.
don't we have a contract or what does it say in the award letter? It's got it. It does not make any sense.
I don't have it with me.
What is this? What is this, the rural fund?
Is it underutilized?
No, it's not.
If not, I will find out tomorrow. I can put it in.
Hi. So basically what we're gonna do next is, trying to get together with, Allison Bovey, I believe her name is. She's new. She does stuff, grants, and Doug. And I wanna see if what the process is and how we move on that. The only thing I can say about the deadline is if you talk to some of these guys, see what they think. I mean, if they need more than 6 weeks, fine, you know, and then some of the other stuff that we listed on there, originally we can work, I think like we were looking at to possibly do a survey of the property, and there's other stuff in there too, estimates for asbestos. I can't think of what else.
Well, yeah, there was that
Right.
14, 15 page thing, you know, they sent out there. I mean, there's a whole lot of stuff in there, and that's what
Mhm.
Steve was questioning, is like, it's not gonna be able to survey all of that stuff in that timeline. I mean, 3-4 months, maybe, but that's if they shelve everything else.
Okay, all right. So I don't see the fiscal year 25, but in the fiscal year 26 round,
Mhm.
for this funding, the projects must be completed no later than June 30th, 2027. So this has to be June 30th, 2026. It does not make any sense if it was 25.
Okay, like I said, the woman said that at the
So we got
seminar.
a year and a half.
Yeah, that makes way more sense.
Yes, good.
So I'll confirm that, but, so the proposal was based on the original,
Pre-estimate.
that
From
from Riddle
Q
put
Riddle.
together, okay.
Mhm.
So it should be fairly close in cost. Usually they, give you a budgeting number, which is over what they would really
Okay.
charge you. So, I will confirm the deadline, but I think we need to give them a minimum of 6 months.
Okay.
Yeah, that makes way more sense.
Yeah. So I can make that change.
Okay. Just do me a favor, email me a copy so I can have it on my record.
Well, tomorrow's still,
Just like that.
So it said 6/30/27 is the drop dead date?
for FY 26.
That's for the 26 grant, so it makes sense following that logic, that it would be fiscal year 26.
I'll confirm.
Okay.
I got the grant paperwork somewhere.
Okay, do you remember how long the other one took? The one that they did in, was it 2011?
No, I wasn't part of it.
So I would say that wasn't like a funded grant program, that was, the schools paid
Yeah.
for it, the schools just commissioned. them
Oh,
to do
okay.
it, So,
I will figure that one out. All right, so the next thing is basically the committee structure, which we discussed, and I got to thank Melissa Shattuck for doing a lot of work with that and coordinating it with me. And then Steve reviewed it and thought there should be some changes. And I think that, like you said, that the holdup was the ex officio.
Yeah, so I have some of this. You want me to go over the changes? You want to do?
You can go ahead.
So let me make sure everybody has to. I only brought one red line copy, so I will read them to you. So we make sure that everybody has. So on the first page, under the committee shall, we added 2 sections there, 4 and 5. 4 reads that we would expand the scope of the viable available real estate properties in Belchertown that fit the guidelines of repurpose and or renovation to benefit the local economy and population, and return these properties to the active tax rolls of the town. 5, the committee will be limited to those properties located in the geographical area of Belchertown and will not include properties outside its jurisdiction. Down under members of the committee, we've tried to clean this up a little bit. We added under the second bullet, 1 member from the community with real estate, architectural, grant writing experience or similar experience. We also added that same language to the next bullet for historical, cultural, or similar experience. The final bullet, we said 1 member, but not to exceed 3 members of the citizenry of Belchertown. So what does that come up to? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to 7 members, which is what you currently have.
Yeah.
non-voting members, ex officio members representing current building occupants, managers, and leaseholders. That's obviously up for discussion. So that was probably not on your copy tonight because that was the last minute thing after I talked to the attorney.
I have it on,
It's probably on the copy I just gave you.
yeah, but it's also on the copy that I sent back to you.
Oh, okay. So that was in there.
Yeah, and the similar experience stuff too was already on there, so.
Okay.
So it looks like what you did was you took the original stuff that was there, took that out and kind of pushed everything up.
Well, Melissa's been working on this, so
Yep.
you probably already have this together.
I don't have this most recent.
Okay. And then we also added some language at the end that the committee will be a maximum of 7 members, minimum 5-member, along with an ex officio members who represent currently occupants, managers, leaseholders. All positions for membership positions will be advertised as required by the town prior to consideration and presentation to the select board. That needs to be changed to town manager, I guess. All all membership candidates will be subject to the approval of the select board, which again, that should be town manager. So what we typically do with these, so I can have this on for next Monday night for select board. Once this is approved, what we typically do with membership is we advertise. If we have letters of interest or expressions of interest, I guess letters are a thing of the past, we submit them to the committee. The chair would discuss them in an open meeting. The committee would say yay or nay, report back to me, and then I would make the appointments. So that's how it works.
So am I going to the select board or?
I can bring it to them.
Okay, good.
Yeah, you're welcome to be there. I would say, if you're available Monday
Want
night,
to meet people.
Yeah.
you can
Up
certainly
to
be
you.
there, but if you're not there, I'll fumble through it like I normally do.
One thing,
I'll be there too.
members of the committee, the first one that says 1 member from the select board. Did you take out the part that I put Jen Turner as a permanent member?
Yeah, because she signs my paycheck.
Okay. I tried.
That's right.
You're funny.
So there were some deletions, so if you're good with this, I can run with it. But I can make changes before it goes in.
My thought process on the ex officio thing is effectively this is an open meeting no matter what, so anybody can attend this. So do we even need to have that there, especially if they're not voting?
True. I don't see why you do it, because you're right, people could show up.
So instead of making it more difficult than it has to be, I think we should just take the ex officio person out of there.
Are you asking your committee, or are you?
Yeah.
Say that again? Say that again?
I'm saying take the ex officio member clause out of this because it's an open meeting, anybody can attend, and if they're not voting, it doesn't matter.
I think the reason we had all those people in is because there was a plan for this committee originally. This was somebody else's mission in life to make this happen. And I think with the current iteration of the way things are going, i.e. no leases happening on these buildings, we can take it out.
I just think we're throwing an extra step in there that might be difficult.
What do you think, Chris? What do you think, Kristen?
No, I agree. I don't think it's necessary. I'm fine with getting rid of that one.
Yeah, we had talked about that a little bit before. The only issue is getting a quorum. If you have 5, then you need 3.
Yeah.
If you have 7, you need
4.
4.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I agree. I've been on so many committees and, it's just, gets to be like chasing cats, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if we can keep it simple, I think that'd be perfect. If you want to put something in there that, public is, invited to attend if they want or something, I think that'd be good. So, we don't need to vote on this, do we?
Changing the charge? I don't know, I really thought we did this already, but that's okay.
Do you remember if we did this?
I thought we were looking at it. Did we decide on a final one? I can't recall. I don't know.
You know what, let's throw this out for vote just to cover
Should we
ourselves.
say we're,
No, it's a different committee we changed. What was that one?
Who's this one?
I can look back. I don't have it handy.
You know, just for,
You were there,
What's that?
you were there.
On what?
I know, but
I wasn't listening to you, sorry.
We had-
where were you? What's happening?
I thought it was.
I
the energy
thought-
I'm just,
No,
I
you're right,
voted
you're
the
right.
energy
I'm
committee.
pretty sure we did vote.
We
to change it
voted
in the
to
last-
change
yes,
it,
in
and we
December.
voted
Oh,
that,
you voted, not
Yeah.
Sarah.
and we
Yeah.
voted that Rick and Susan
We're gonna work
That's
together.
right.
on it.
That's
Absolutely.
yeah.
and that we didn't, right, so we already sort of did all of this.
But this is the
already.
final.
Maybe
version.
that's why
This is the
Kirk
final
is zoning
You
out.
can vote you can vote on the final.
I think we should vote on the final version just to cover everything, okay?
You threw me off. I thought you were saying the select board did this, and I said, no,
No, we didn't
Yeah.
do it.
the select board took up the energy committee meeting, not the
Yes,
elementary.
we did not do
Who wants to make a motion?
I move that we adopt the changes discussed tonight.
that. Second.
Sorry.
All those in favor?
I-
Against? Abstain? Perfect. Hey, this is going faster than I thought. All right, last time I talked about additional properties that we could consider for our next project,
Mhm.
because we should have some lapse time as the feasibility study is gonna be going on. And I think we should still basically, talk about considering other properties. And if this whole thing gets approved, where we can look at other properties in Belchertown, is there any properties that any of you had your eye on saying, we should take a look at that?
Well, I was gonna say, I'm looking at this one-stop grant that's already open for the next round of funding. So I think that is June 4th, and I don't know, I know at the town level, the higher up leadership level, we're gonna be engaging our new grant manager to decide what the town priorities are for the one-stop.
Mhm.
Do we want to continue hoping that we get some good news out of this and apply for the next round of
I wanted to apply for,
improvements on this building? Because,
I wanted to apply for a new roof and asbestos removal. Those are the two things that are in my brain. Not that it's me, I'm just saying this is what I'm throwing out.
Yeah, I guess, what would we,
it would be hard if like the
Because we don't have-
timing doesn't
yeah.
line up.
the feasibility study won't be done in time.
When was the deadline? July?
June 4th.
Oh, June 4th.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's also the MassWorks thing that got pulled. That we were, so,
What happened?
how do we explain
For the
this?
water and sewer for 6 and 8 Berkshire Ave, yeah. So 6 and 8 Berkshire Ave, which are not available yet for this committee to work on. I'm not sure if they will be available, they may be moved, but we had a grant application that was approved, but fell through for various reasons to update the utilities to the two buildings, because the water and sewer is deficient.
That was gonna feed into Tadville too, so it's like,
It
Yeah,
was a double whammy.
that was the intention.
so I guess if we could get a copy of that grant application, we could call out the parts that are still relevant.
Yeah.
And have the Allison. But well,
I mean, it, for consideration,
yeah,
I guess, I would say.
but I don't know how we could apply for the roof without a complete feasibility study. The numbers on the old feasibility study are no good.
I know, but we know it needs a new roof. That's the worst part. Like, for sure it needs a new roof.
The only other way we could do it is by having a contractor come in and
Give
give
us
us an
Do a
estimate. Yeah.
pre-bid
Yeah.
estimate.
But are we even eligible without the feasibility study being this isn't one lead to another.
That's, when you call to find out about the other stuff, that would be another question maybe to ask.
Well, can we start working on the body of the grant? And then even if we couldn't use it this year, all that work would just be used next year when we have the attachment.
We can just use the one that we had last time and modify it. Now that I know that it doesn't have to be an Adobe PDF,
Oh my God,
that'll save me weeks of work.
But I think, in terms of other properties,
Mhm.
Franklin School.
That's fine on the
yeah,
market.
we're getting rid of that.
So why don't we table this conversation for now?
Yeah. This was mostly hey, let's look at stuff,
Yeah.
kind of thing, not so we'll table it.
I did dig out 3 tubes of blueprints downstairs
Mhm.
for the construction of Tagil.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So, should have brought them, I guess, but they would be available to whoever gets a contract,
Mhm.
and
That
they
makes
save
sense.
them some legwork.
Yeah, yeah.
Very good.
What about these buildings? Is there any? Rec, senior. That. Where am I? In time and space.
Monuments there.
The fire,
Oh,
that fire thing.
you have a lot down there.
The thing where they said when their living quarters, they're gonna move everybody upstairs in that little building over there.
Oh, that's IT.
Isn't there like open space potential in there too?
That was gonna be like a meeting space.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Is there any need to work on improvement?
Oh, for grant, you mean?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I thought you were talking about them having another building to look at. I'll put that on the list.
What is it?
What building is this?
I don't know how to explain it.
Well,
I
I'm
don't even know where
gonna
we
throw
are.
everybody after, only you and I are gonna know. The old post office.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I mean the old police station.
Police station, yeah.
Oh, I mean the old EMS building.
Right. That
There's
one.
a building next.
Leskins building.
There's a
Yeah.
building that is
That always
next
cracked me
to
up.
fire department.
Okay,
Like sort of like right next to
Yeah,
the
Yeah.
parties.
I know that.
that was the old jail,
Yeah.
right?
No.
Police department. I thought
It
it
was
It
was.
was originally constructed as a post office,
Oh, was it
Right.
really? I didn't know that.
and then the federal government gave it to the town.
Yeah.
It was a police station.
Wow.
They added some cells onto the back.
Mhm.
Where the loading ramp is, they turned into some cells. And then it has since been used by the fire department for living quarters,
Okay.
because they work 24-hour shifts.
Hmm.
And then we are moving the firefighters out of that building into the station,
Okay.
and it's going to be converted into our IT offices.
Oh.
And there's a big central area in the middle
Mhm.
that we're going to use for a meeting room. It's twice the size of this room.
Oh,
And we're going to set it up so that there can be public access. So we can use it at nighttime for meeting space. Daytime, they want to be able to set up computers and use it for employee training and those kinds of things. So it's going to be a great space.
How's the condition of that building?
We've,
Just like every other building.
yeah, actually, we walked through it. I mean,
That's terrible.
it's got a good roof on it. The DPW put a new roof on it 10 years ago or so. It could use windows, but the windows that are there are solid. We're gonna do flooring. There's asbestos tile in there. We're gonna remove that. We're getting a quote now. And then we're gonna carpet and put vinyl down in certain areas.
Mhm.
A lot of paint, new ceiling tiles. The ceiling tiles are old. So we're gonna reuse the tracks. We're gonna paint, we're gonna pull it's a drop ceiling. We're gonna pull tiles up. We're gonna paint the tracks.
Yep.
We just spray paint them. And then put new tiles in. There's a kitchenette in there. We're gonna remove that and just, actually, there's some good cabinets. There's some cabinets that are junk. So we're just gonna rearrange it. We want to utilize the good cabinets. So it'll be a sink, refrigerator, a microwave, coffee pot, so we can have meetings. The bathroom, there's only one bathroom, so it's co-ed. It's not in bad shape. It could use some, more or less aesthetics, but we're gonna let that go for now because of money. So it's gonna be a small lift. overall.
So would it be grandfathered in regards to having 2 separate bathrooms?
That's not a requirement anymore, I don't really think.
Oh, it isn't?
Yeah, no,
Unisex?
yeah, they're all unisex now,
Yeah,
yeah,
I don't
none,
know why that was
yeah, yeah.
such a thing in the first place.
So, yeah, I mean,
And when is all this starting?
I would suspect that the firefighters will be out of there, late summer. Yeah.
It's
and then
exciting, yeah.
Yeah.
Getting there over the winter. So the IT department is occupying some programming space, former programming space at our recreation building, so it's not available for, birthday parties and stuff, but it's a good office space for them. It's a huge improvement. They were in the basement of Tadjo. So
Right.
that was kind of like a dungeon, literally, because it was the old civil defense area.
Mm.
So it was bomb-proof. So you can imagine being in a basement that's bomb-proof.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, so that's the plan there. There's a lot going on. So anyways, that could be a good potential grant. Don't know what category to fall under, but
Well, okay, so create a feasibility study or site master plan for an underutilized or decommissioned municipal building with the intent to create commercial or mixed use or co-working space, municipal use, and community meeting space. So that's the same funding source as this one, so the rural. Or
Mhm.
for a building, conduct design, engineering, permitting, and or construction activity to address ADA accessibility requirements for public buildings, resources, and municipalities that have a Massachusetts Office on Disability approved self-evaluate. I don't know what that is.
so what category was that?
Wait, conduct, rural development, conduct design, engineering, permitting, and or construction activities of an underutilized or decommissioned municipal building with the intent to create mixed use. But they added this community meeting space, such as housing, shared workspace, municipal use, and or community meeting space. Rehab town-owned underutilized property for intended disposal to a developer. So we could, again, going back to the 6 and 8 situation. Infrastructure, that's road improvements, bridge, blah, blah, blah.
So the library is looking to do some
Do expansion.
expansion and ADA improvements,
So maybe that's
but it's
good
not a
for them.
municipally owned building.
Hmm.
I know, but it's open to the public.
It's open for them if they
Yeah.
want to do it. Then we have the NSV buildings.
But again,
Again,
those aren't municipally owned either. They're
yes,
state owned.
yes, and, right, so like, public partnership.
So is the library privately owned or state owned?
Yeah. private.
Private.
It's a privately owned, publicly funded entity.
Okay.
So they operate under the board of directors. And they receive public funding for their operations. That's why it's open to the public. It's not a private library. And we have a good working relationship with them. But we run into this from time to time that because the building is technically not a town building, they're not eligible for certain things.
This could be part of our larger conversation too, but.
Yeah. Yeah, so if that gets approved Monday, that could fall into this guideline here. So,
Yeah.
but we probably have to get a different funding source because it's not going to fit the one-stop requirement.
Potentially, yeah. At least we could look into the public access and public funding.
So is anybody doing anything with 6 and 8 right now? Is like any other team of people like working on it?
Well, it's complicated, but, so we're kind of looping it into the greater conversation with EDAC
Okay.
at this time, but nothing has been determined. That's about all we can really say about that.
Mhm.
So if it comes back, then I think we could talk.
Well, the guidance phase is open as of tomorrow for the one stop. Guidance phase.
Yes.
Oh, we're gonna get crack-a-lacking on this.
Yeah, I gotta get Allison and Doug to team up here and look at that stuff. But you're meeting with Allison, right?
I met with her today,
You did.
and I babbled with her for 45 minutes. with Lisa and Maud.
Okay, anything else on that?
Sorry, no.
Okay. So, I put on here follow-up discussion about the press announcement. I don't know what to say. It's starting to become ancient history because it's,
It's
you know,
not
there's-
though.
No,
It's
no.
not, because we're like in the middle, so I wouldn't think of it as, ancient history. Because we're trying to get a lot of press around a lot
Okay.
of these initiatives.
Okay.
So I don't think there's anything.
Yeah, I don't remember what Kate said last about it.
I think Maud reset it, the whole thing, and resent it to her with all of her background and the stuff that Rick had written up already. And I know Kate has it on her plate, I just don't know where it stands right now, but I don't think it's like, I think if it went out at the end of February, it'd be fine. Like, I don't,
Okay.
I think it's more important that it's just that we get some press.
Mhm.
And where are we
Period.
targeting? What kind of press beyond the Sentinel?
I mean, Mass Live would be great
Yeah.
if we could get, we got a good Gazette article written about the branding project, so,
Kate can put it on Facebook.
yeah.
Mhm.
And like side note, right, like just to give us some like impact reporting, I went to the chamber event yesterday and like it is getting noticed in the marketplace
Good.
that we're doing things. For what it's worth, so.
Yeah, nice.
That's all it takes.
I also sent a copy of that, write-up that Vaughn and I did to Allison to kind of bring her up to speed, so hopefully that'll help. I think I sent a copy to Doug too.
Yeah. Allison is deep in the exploratory of everything phase at the moment, so.
Okay, open meeting law and agenda deadline. All of us, I think, if you remember, I sent you something about the open meeting laws and you need to read it. And there was also email from Terry about it. And there's like 3 sections that were very important. The whole thing really comes down to, what is considered a meeting. And, when I was talking to Terry, she's like, you're sending out the agenda to everybody. Someone could come along and say, hey, that's a meeting. And what she recommended was I sent half of our group the same email twice. So
So not to argue with town clerk, but
Yep.
my understanding of all of this is information is okay to go one way.
okay,
It's when you hit reply all that's the problem.
Yep.
So you can send the agenda to all of us, but
Okay.
nobody should respond.
all right.
The only thing you can do over email is scheduling
Right.
meetings.
Yep, so if you send an email out, sometimes I write a caveat that says, please do not
Do not.
respond.
Yep.
The other thing you can do, if you're good with Outlook, is send the email to yourself
Okay.
and blind copy everybody,
Oh,
because then they can't hit reply all, it doesn't do any good.
Oh.
So that's
That's your workaround.
That's what I've been doing lately, because I did have the committee start deliberating on something I sent out, and
Yeah.
we fixed it quick, but that's all I'm doing with it now. Send it to myself, one copy everybody.
Smart.
works for me.
Yep, so.
All right. So the other thing I was going to ask too was when we had the capital expense meeting, they had to sign something. Do I need to get the group to sign some kind of paper saying?
Oh, the social media policy?
Is that what that was?
Yeah, I thought that would have come to you already.
No.
I guess Kate would be the one to ask for
All right.
that, or Joanne.
Like to prevent from discussing things on social media or?
Well, it's just guidelines.
We have a social media policy.
Okay.
Everyone should sign off on it. If you're not social media, like, I don't think you use social media, do you?
I
Right,
don't
like,
dare post
right.
anything. I
So,
read it all, but I don't post anything.
yeah, it's just acknowledgement, so like, you have to identify that you're part of
Okay.
the committee, and like, if you're speaking, you don't wanna be speaking on behalf of
Yeah.
a committee, right?
Right.
So,
Yeah. Yeah, you shouldn't use your own Facebook page for official business. If you do respond to something and it's your own opinion,
You have to state it.
yeah, so it's just guidelines. Depending on how much you use social media for your committee or your job, the more of it applies, but for you, very little.
Yeah.
You're not gonna create a Facebook page, so.
Since I retired, I don't really do a lot of anything. I certainly don't mention anything that's going on in my life. I don't trust social media, and I don't have what is it, X now, Instagram. Can't think of the other
But
one.
do you have TikTok?
No.
We have Red Note.
Don't worry, because we don't really care about your life anyway.
Nobody does.
Why would we? Why would you care about mine?
I always say I'm that Asian
Well,
kid.
if you were friends with him, maybe you would care.
I think the only
I
thing
found it's good for stalking your kids.
Yeah.
That's the only way I know what they're doing half the
Your
time.
kids
That's
use
why
Facebook.
When they were young.
That's why when I signed up for Facebook, I never knew what my kids were doing, and now all of a sudden it's like, oh wow, they're going over to Europe.
It's all like Discord now and all this
Yeah,
other
yeah.
things.
As soon as my kids
Snapchat.
became
Yeah.
adults, they stopped using it, so.
Yeah.
But
I'm so glad my daughter's 35.
She probably is on Facebook then.
Same age as my kids, well, she probably was, she probably isn't anymore. Just my kids are the same age, so, when Facebook first came out, they jumped all over it. And
Yeah.
they, went on to better things.
MySpace. Who
Yeah.
remembers that?
TikTok.
That's going back a while.
Yeah.
What is the other one?
Yeah.
Anyways,
Classmates.com.
my God.
Oh,
Still get emails from classmates.
I
Somebody's
know,
checking you out. I'm like,
It's like no one's
ooh.
been on it in 30 years, but they still send the emails. Yeah. Funny.
I got an email from classmate.com years ago, and it says, you have a very important email from somebody. And
I'm
I'm
gonna
like,
let you see it though.
Right. So I pay the fee, I go to it, and it's my brother-in-law going, hey, are you on here to pick up girls or something stupid like that? And I'm like, I called him, I'm like, John, you owe me $50, buddy.
Ugh.
So anyways, yeah, I'll try to follow up, I think I just made a note.
That's good. And for next meeting, I was thinking maybe, do you want to do something like third Thursday of the month type thing? Is that gonna work?
The budget season is gonna blow up my schedule, so whatever that means. I don't know what
Yeah,
that
third Wednesday of the month is the only thing that I have that's tied up.
Oh,
means. Third Thursday is break, this in February.
do you want to do towards the end of the month, like the
And
27th?
What are we gonna be meeting about, I guess, what would be
Mostly this stuff here, we're gonna be hearing back from.
update?
If we didn't have all the stuff with this one stop, grant stuff, we would probably meet once a quarter. So we could meet,
So are you, all these members, or all these, names?
Yeah.
We're sending out to all of them,
except for the one that you scribbled, yes.
right?
Yep.
Except for Reinhardt.
Yep.
Right, okay.
So we're gonna send it to them, and it's also gonna be posted on the website too. So if somebody is interested and they look at it, they can certainly apply for the proposal, so.
So the deadline for that is the February 28th, you said? That
Oh,
was
so we should probably meet after
after
the
that,
deadline.
yep.
After the
So we
26th,
have-
could fit you in March? So we're talking about?
Yeah,
It can be in the earlier side of March too,
Yeah.
just so we have something to talk about with the.
The Ides of March.
Yes.
If the opening was February 28th, it'd have to be March unless this is the leap year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
February
It is,
20th.
right?
the 28th
Well,
is
the
a Friday
29th.
anyway.
Which is better, the 6th or the 13th?
I have nothing.
I'm good either of those dates.
Okay.
Why don't you send it out to the other two folks who are not here?
So far I am too, so.
All right.
Is that the boiler?
Pipes must be heating up.
That's really intense. Wow.
Well, we spent a ton of money making the building efficient, so now the boiler shuts off. It cools down way too much,
Mhm.
and then when it fires back up, all the pipes expand
Yeah.
because they get hot and they start clunking away. We never had this problem, all the heat was going out the windows, because the furnace never shut off.
Right.
Was that the last thing? Motion to adjourn?
Yep, so that's it, and so I will send an email out, probably tomorrow morning saying, is a 6th or 13th good? And I'll also tell everybody, please respond individually. Cool. This was faster than I thought. I really gotta get
Wait.
together with
I motioned, but nobody seconded it.
I second.
all those in favor, you can leave.
Aye.
Do we need to stop the recording or?
Oh, yeah, we need to-
Well,